The Southern Derby Cup makes its way to the biggest city in the state of North Carolina as the Charlotte Independents host the Charleston Battery. Tonight's match is presented to you by Famous Toastery. Welcome in, I'm Josh Toll, and with me is former pro Chris Nurse. And Chris, the Southern Derby Cup adds a little more excitement to this match as both look for bragging rights, but with that comes 3 more points as both these clubs are in the hunt for the playoffs. Yeah, there's a few things to take into consideration this evening. There's the playoffs, but this is a rival match between 2 local derbies. Whenever it's a game like this between 2 local derbies, it's always a hotly contested game. Expect a lot of passion, a lot of fight, a lot of desire out there on the pitch. Obviously, 3 points is a massive for both teams this evening. Intensity is going to be key tonight between these 2 clubs as they are both searching for that final playoff spot. But for Charlotte, they've struggled against Charleston, have not won since 2016. Yeah, but you never know what Charlotte's going to turn up. They are very dangerous players. Both Martinez brothers, you have George in the middle giving them a bit of steel, and Herrera up top has always been dangerous. So it's just a case of which Charlotte team shows up this evening. And they're looking for a win at home. 3 points would go a long way here in this playoff race. For Charleston, they have 5 games in their next 16 matches, but they're trying to get off to winning ways early tonight. Yeah, Charleston trying to solidify their place in the playoffs nice and early, trying to create some distance between themselves and the 11th place team. They could fool them after being a little bit overconfident in the game, having not lost to Charlotte in over 2 years, but anything can happen this evening. Well, they have just 1 win in their last 5 games. They're going to try to make a 2nd win in 6 games, and they have a tough battle tonight against Charlotte. The Southern Derby Cup on the line this evening, but when we return, we will have lineups for you next. Stick around. My card.
Misplace your debit card? Turn it off with your app.
Excuse me, my card,
This one's gotta be yours, right?
Yes.
And turn it on when you find it.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health, the hands making healthcare remarkable.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Welcome back to Matthews, North Carolina. Our game tonight presented by Famous Toastery, and our starting 11 presented to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. First, we'll start off with the home team in Charlotte Independents. A little bit different look for them this evening. Coming into tonight's match, we'll see a few different faces in the starting 11.
Yeah, almost 7 changes to the team that started in the previous game. One of the most interested ones is McDonough coming in at centre-back, a homegrown player making his first start this evening for the Charlotte Independents. An area of concern has been the ability to keep clean sheets. That's going to be something they need to address in the closing stages if they're really serious about making a push for the playoffs.
Coach Jeffrey's looking to change things up, trying to get his team going tonight against a tough Charleston Battery club. And this is what their starting 11 will look like for them from Mike Anheuser.
Yeah, a very solid formation. 4-4-1-1 gives them a lot of stability and rigidity when they're defending. They have dangerous players going forward. Lewis, who's recently obviously been called up to the Bermuda national team, and he'll be leaving them next week. But obviously, the 2 at the back is going to be key for them. Some sloppy defending, gave away a lot of opportunities last week. Seeing these 2, Archer and Mueller at the back, being able to work together, solidify that defense is going to be critical for for Charleston this evening.
Both these two clubs struggling to find victories, and tonight they'll look for 3 more points in this derby match here. Another fun, exciting match tonight between Charlotte Independence and the Charleston Battery. We are about to get underway. And we are underway in Matthews, North Carolina. Charlotte in their blue kits, Charleston in their white.
Fans, are you wearing your Charlotte Independence gear tonight? Be sure to look the part.
The pitch surface doesn't look as smooth and perfect as we've been accustomed to seeing. However, there's not many better places to play at this time of year. 80 degrees here in Charlotte, beautiful weather, a fantastic night for perfect soccer.
For Charleston, they're coming off a 2-1 loss against Nashville. That one going down to the wire. Nashville getting a goal in stoppage time, and that would really hurt Charleston. For the Independents, they're coming off a 3-1 loss against the Indy 11 side. Again, trying to get back into the winning ways for Charlotte. 4 losses in their last 6 games. During that time, 2 draws. So they've managed to come up with points, but not enough to leapfrog them into that 10th spot in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Charleston Battery, they've been losing points along the way. Just 1 win in their last 5 as they've been trying to get back in. They've come up with a pair of draws during that spread of time, but still haven't been able to come up with 3 points to give themselves a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. You know, if we look at the stats of Enzo Martinez this year, it's not quite the same Martinez that we've been accustomed to seeing. Coach Jeffrey's coming back as the head coach. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get that same Enzo back again for the remaining games of the season.
Sabella on the near side, plays it into Enzo Martinez, but he can't control. Turning with it on his foot is Zico Lewis. He'll play it wide.
Of course, in the last game against Indy, Charlotte were missing a key component to their team, Kevan George, in the middle of the park. Coach described him as probably being their most consistent player throughout the year, and he's come back in tonight, and he's going to be very important to being successful.
Charlotte with a through ball. Martinez. This is Alex Martinez playing it wide. And unable to get there on the end line was Joel Johnson. Throw coming for Charleston Battery. Charleston Battery on the season, 7 wins, 7 losses, 9 draws for 30 points. They sit in that 10th position. Meanwhile, for the Independents, 5 wins, 11 losses, and 10 draws for 25 points. They sit back there in that 12th spot, 5 points behind this Charleston Battery club.
Yeah, 3 points this evening is very important for both teams. For Charlotte to keep themselves relevant in the chase for the playoff hunt, they need to start picking up points. It's the business end of the season. If they don't start getting 3 points, they can wave their playoff hopes goodbye. On the other hand, Charleston just occupying that last playoff spot, trying to create a little bit more distance between themselves and the 11th place team, just to give them a little bit comfort going into these final stages.
Ball played to Martinez. Martinez trying to find Enzo Martinez, and this is going to go out. And a goal kick now for Charleston. Charleston, one of the keys that they were talking about for this game is they have to come up with pressure and play a full 90. That is something that they felt that they have not done, especially when talking to Mike Anhauser. Really wants to get the team to take the advantage early and try to go at the Charlotte club.
Yeah, I think when we talk about Charlotte Independence, the name Enzo Martinez immediately comes to mind. He's been one of the best offensive players, not just for the team, but in the league. And he only has 3 goals this season. So their lack of success and being just outside of the playoffs is obviously a byproduct of the season that Enzo's having. Of course, the season's not over yet. If he can start to pick up the form that he's had in previous seasons, you know, a runner for league MVP, Charlotte can most certainly make a run to make the playoffs in the final stages.
2 times runner-up for MVP in the USL. Also plenty of MLS experience, last with Colorado Rapids. You have veteran experience like that, you hope that they can pick up and put the team on their back when need be.
Yeah, and with Kevan George, you know, CONCACAF Nations League comes up next week. He's such a key component for them in the middle of the park. While it's good for his own personal development to play for his national team, if he is selected to play for Trinidad, they're most certainly going to miss him because he's so important for this team in the final closing stages. They need him to make that playoff push.
Johnson on the far wing, plays it inside to George. George nearly lost possession, but plays it out. Coming back is Joel Johnson, trying to find Alex Martinez, but pops it over his head. Anunga there. Tico. This will find its way all the way back to Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller on the year. 68 saves, 3 clean sheets. That's one of the things that we were talking about before the game is which one of these teams can find a way to get a shutout, much needed.
And the thing is, Coach Jeffries obviously was very disappointed in what happened in Indy. There's no way a coach makes 7 changes just because they feel like it. They've made 7 changes because he wants a reaction out of the players that he's bringing into the squad to try and give them some motivation, you know, a new energy going into the final stages. They conceded twice from set pieces. He highlighted that as an area that they need to address. And McDonough, one of the homegrown players, has come in today. And it's going to be interesting to see how he defends set pieces and merges with his defensive partner to see if they can try to address that area.
Great set piece opportunity here, sent in. This one makes its way towards the back post. There's Lewis. Lewis sends it in with his left to the mixer. And this will go against Charleston.
Drink it in. Powerful, vibrant, nutrient-rich fuel for healthy, active, experience-rich lives.
For Charlotte at home on the year, 5 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw. Meanwhile, for Charleston, away from home, they have 3 wins, 5 losses, and 3 draws. Miller, dangerous touch there, and now he'll just boot it down towards midfield. Here's Mueller. Mueller will play it all the way back. Kuzminski. Kuzminski on the year, 55 saves. He also has 3 clean sheets on the season. 25-year-old out of Denver, Colorado. And pushed over on the play is Dante Marini. Joel Johnson guilty of the push.
When we spoke to Coach Anhauser earlier during the week, you know, we asked him the importance of the rivalry between Charlotte and Charleston, and if the players, you know, if his staff, if they feel like an extra motivation whenever these 2 teams come up against each other. And he said most certainly, you know, every game, obviously the staff and the players, they give 100%. He said whenever it's a rival match, a derby match like what we have here this evening, he said the players understand the culture, they understand the history, they always give that little bit extra. So we expect to see a very intense affair this evening.
This one's sent towards the 18. Lewis heads it forward, down by Sabella. Lewis knocked over, no whistle. Gonzalez plays it wide. McDonough, I should say Bolt. Here's Sabella. Bocanegra. Bocanegra can't keep that in. Throw coming for Charleston.
Yeah, Bocanegra just holding on to the ball there for a little bit long. Just needs to keep it moving, getting caught in possession and giving the ball back to Charleston.
Kelly loses possession, gives it right back to Bocanegra. Gonzalez switches sides. McDonough, the 22-year-old out of Atlanta. They'll go wide to Johnson. Inside to Alex Martinez. Martinez gives it away as it falls to the feet of Van Schaik. Atunga. Bolt. Back to the captain, Mueller. Leland Archer now plays it wide. Patient build up here for Charleston. Down the line. Lewis. Lewis sends it in with the left. That one takes a deflection. Bicycle try.
Nice patient build up there from Charleston. They're doing a good job in possession of the ball, making the field very big. The centre backs spread wide, the full backs get nice and high and wide, and they're very patient in the build up. They don't force the pass, they wait for the right time. There you see that deflected ball into the box. Tries, that's spectacular, but he connects with the defender's face more so than the ball. I think if the referee has a clear view on that, he probably issues a yellow card for dangerous play.
Rittmeyer, the man, trying for the bicycle kick there. Bocanegra. This one played wide.
Nice first time pass there from Keegan George.
Sabella dispossessed by Jay Bolt. Rittmeyer. Inside of Bolt. Bolt tripped up. Anunga plays it forward. Chested down. Now played in the channel, but no one there. Trying to get that ball in the channel was Basua. Bocanegra. Enzo Martinez.
Difficult start for Martinez so far in this game. He's given away the ball a few times, just trying to overcomplicate things. Just needs to play in 1 or 2 touches and play what's in front of him, rather than trying to create something that's not there.
Gonzalez, pressure there, but is able to get around Rittmeyer.
Yeah, not the not the orthodox defending that we're used to seeing, flicking the ball over the defender's head in your own box, but it came off of Mansali. He got himself out of a tight situation.
Bolt from Jacksonville, Florida, chips it over. Last time these two teams met, Charleston Battery, the victor with a 2-0 score, as we'll have our first yellow card handed out. That one going against Zico Lewis.
Interesting the time when the referee's blown it to bring play back. I don't think he blew his whistle when the infraction happened. He allowed play to continue and then booked the player after.
Yellow card Charleston, 11th minute, number 11, Lewis.
Zico Lewis, the first player in the books tonight. Lewis on the year, that's his first yellow card.
I think it may be Mansali down here with it.
That's who it looks like, Mansali down.
An injury.
For Charlotte, coming out of that loss from Indy, really they felt like they lacked intensity, but did a good job limiting chances. Didn't deal well with the ball and set pieces, as you mentioned, and that's a key thing going forward. So far tonight, just the one set piece. They're able to handle it decently, but that's going to be a factor because you know teams are going to be setting up for that to try to take advantage of this club.
Exactly, and Coach Mike Jeffries told us that, you know, he has a lot of veteran presence in his team. And if you have a veteran presence, organization, discipline, set pieces, there's something that you understand very clearly as a veteran. As a young player, you can maybe get forgiven for maybe a little bit naive and not understanding the importance of set pieces, but as a veteran, most certainly set pieces are very key to winning games, and that veteran presence should be able to control that better.
Charleston Battery, just one win in their last 5 in that time. 1 win, 3 losses, and 1 draw. The Charlotte Independents, they're winless in their last 6 games. 4 draws in that time, 2 losses. Both teams coming in on a 2-game losing streak. Here's Zico Lewis.
The good thing is there's still almost 30 points left to play for. And with that veteran presence that Charlotte do have in this team, the likes of Martinez, Herrera, George, these players should be able, at some point, find a way to win games. They don't need to be necessarily playing as spectacularly as they can. They may not anyone be having a standout individual season, but with veteran presence, you should be able to find a way to win the game. Whether you're playing good or playing bad, that experience that you have over youthful players, you know, it becomes very valuable at these times in the season.
Now Charlotte looking to push forward, played inside to Enzo Martinez. He's knocked off the ball. Guilty on that was Angelo Kelly. Alex Martinez now will play it out wide. Gonzalez steps inside, and he'll simply play this back.
What I find so interesting is every team seems to be adopting a possession-based approach to games so far. You know, it's 14 minutes into the games. I don't think we've seen one of the keepers make a save yet. You know, evidently you can possess the ball, but you have to create chances, and I think that's the difference that Manchester City do so well. You know, they're probably the best possession-based team alongside Barcelona, but they create so many goal-scoring chances. And I think that has to be the next transition from teams possessing the ball, is possessing the ball, but also creating a lot of goal-scoring chances.
Really only, if you can even call it a chance, we had the bicycle try by Rittmeyer, but it wasn't even on frame.
Yeah, but he connected with the player's face instead of the ball. I'm not giving.
But in terms, that's the only thing that's been in the box even.
Yeah.
They're a great chance for Enzo Martinez, but he loses possession.
I think it's a process, you know, of coaching goes through stages. And I think right now, you know, possession is the key thing at the moment that teams are trying to adapt to and teach players to be competent and comfortable playing out from the back. But at the same time, you know, we still need that dynamic. You need forward runners who are going to stretch defenses, create goal scoring opportunities, wingers who are happy taking players on and putting balls into the box. Goal scorers who score goals, you know, are very threatening in the 18-yard box. But 15 minutes into this game, we've yet to see what colour jerseys the goalkeepers are wearing so far.
Bolt lays it back to the captain, Mueller. Mueller will switch sides. Martinez, he'll lay back to Johnson. Tico. This one coming wide, but right to the boot of Jay Bolt. Bolt into the circle.
And that's why Coach Jeffrey's emphasis on set pieces is so critical.
Lewis with a chance, and that one blocked away. Well, we wonder when we were going to see a keeper make a save. Right there from Brandon Miller.
And it was a good save too. You know, some good build-up play. He's done very well in the box, touch and shoot. You know, he hasn't tried to make it too complicated. The ball's just come in. He's had a good first touch, a good strike on goal with his left foot. The Bermuda international Lewis, their first shot on target. Nice first touch, sets himself up perfectly for that left foot strike.
Tico Lewis with a great chance, the 24-year-old.
Miller in goal was equal to it.
Lewis with 6 goals on the season as he'll head over for the corner.
This is the test here for Charlotte, defending set pieces.
Whipped into the area and then cleared away off the head of Kevon George.
And he's obviously important there on set pieces. They missed him against Indy, but he's just showed his value again this evening.
George, the 29-year-old, Trinidad and Tobago, played college soccer at Central Florida.
Please make your way over to the guest relations stand near the main entrance.
Coach Jeffries in the week described him as their most consistent player throughout the course of the year. Despite missing a number of the games because he was away with Trinidad and Tobago, obviously in the Gold Cup this summer, he's still been described as one of their most important and key players throughout the duration of this season.
Johnson turning away. This will go out for a goal kick. Trying to keep it in was Arthur Basua. Basua on the year 3 goals from Long Island. Was all Ivy League 2 years with Columbia.
I think that opportunity there that Lewis just had, it'll be a wake-up call for Charlotte there. You can't afford to take your eye off an offensive play like that in the 18-yard box. When he had that first touch, there was no one close to him to prevent him from having the shot. I think that's their wake-up call. They're pretty much let off. It was a good strike and a good save, but can't leave offensive plays like that unmarked in the box. Somebody's got to take responsibility and mark him.
Bolt chests it down. Rittmeyer unable to get to that ball. Stepping in front was Bocanegra. Chance here for Kelly.
Deflected strike there. That wasn't too far away. Sometimes you never know where they're going to go. It's obviously a very audacious effort from that distance, but when it takes a deflection, they can often catch the keeper unaware. And as you saw, the keeper was almost paused there. He didn't know where to go. Had it been on frame, I think we'd find that in the back of the net. Just takes a deflection there off McDonough.
Angelo Kelly coming into his stride to get that kick off, but earns his team a corner, and now Zeke Lewis will come over to the near side. Setting him for an inward swinging ball. Near post, blocked down, and that one shot can't get through. Defender in the right position at the right time. Otherwise, you're looking at the first goal of the evening.
Yeah, Charleston just turning up a little, starting to have a better of the offensive chances. That's the second, you could say, half chance that they've had for some good defending to keep it out of goal.
Kanunga, the man with the shot, but blocked at the 6.
By Bocanegra, I believe, in a good position to clear that one away.
McDonough. Roaming forward. Johnson on the wing. Bocanegra to Johnson. They'll just recycle this back.
Very quiet opening 20 minutes for Enzo Martinez. And I'm a big Enzo Martinez fan, by the way. I actually remember his professional debut. I believe he may have been with North Carolina, I believe. And he came to the Carolina Railhawks at the time, North Carolina FC now. And I think I was away the first training session. The second training session I was back and everybody was like, wait till I get hold of him, I'll kick that out of him. So his first training session, it was a baptism of fire. He's a player who likes to get on the ball, likes to dribble, and there was probably 4 or 5 times I can remember completely smashing him in tackles. but he would always have the resilience to get back up and continue to play his game, continue to drive, continue to try to be positive in possession. And now that was his debut coming to train for a professional team. Now he's a veteran who's played for 6-7 seasons. I think he's had a fantastic career so far. You know, that was why he spent time in the MLS, but been very quiet this evening. It's been a very quiet season so far. You know, Enzo we're accustomed to seeing by the standards he set for himself. We haven't quite seen as yet this season, but as we said, there's still plenty of time left to play.
Is that one of those things where he just needs to get it more so in a rhythm to get himself going?
I mean, you know, Coach Mike Jeffries, I think, has got the best out of Enzo for a long period of time. When he's played, as I said, when you mention Charlotte, Enzo is the name that comes to mind whenever you think about this team. But I don't know, sometimes players can just have one of those seasons, but he still has very, very good quality. So he can have moments in games to start being very quiet. He can have a moment in game and completely change the flow of things. And I think Coach Anhauser during the week alluded us to that also when we spoke about him. We said, you know, what are the danger players you're looking out for in Charlotte? And he said most certainly Enzo Martinez has had a quiet season, but he's a very dangerous player if you give him time.
Set piece coming once again. Jared Van Schaik setting up. Delivery towards the 6, headed up. And that one finds its way off frame.
There's that defensive threat from set piece. There's nothing spectacular about that set piece. It's pretty straightforward. Ball into the box, just nobody's marking as they should be. Loses his marker, backpedaling, flicks it to the fast post. If that's on target, it's in the back of the net. Charlotte have to do a better job of taking responsibility and marking there. I think that's actually Kevan George who he gets away from. Just needs to stay closer to him.
Get all the latest Independence gear now at shopcharlotteindependence.com. Still scoreless here as we are in the 22nd minute. Josh Toll and Chris Nurse with you this evening. Here in Matthews, North Carolina. Southern Derby Cup on the line. I shouldn't say necessarily on the line. North Carolina also involved in that. They right now lead in points. Charlotte, they need a win or a tie in order to move on. Charlottesville, with a win tonight, they would leap up over North Carolina. They play one another again in September. So still plenty more excitement. As that's going to be a foul against Charlotte. Rittmeyer tripped up.
I think the problem for Charlotte right now is that while they're connecting passes and possessing fairly well, here we see a replay of the incident, the foul. Just comes inside. Trailing leg there from Bocanegra, catches him, referee rightfully gives a free kick. But Charlotte right now, they're not doing a bad job in possession, but they're possessing so deep. They're possessing so deep, it's not really allowing them to get the ball high upfield, to get the offensive players that they have, like both the Martinez brothers, Bocanegra, Herrera. This is the first time we're probably saying his name so far in this game. They're getting the ball so deep in their own half, it's not really providing any attacking threat. They need to get themselves in positions where they can receive the ball higher up the pitch.
Just one chance on target for either team. That one coming moments ago from Charleston Battery. Did have a chance coming from a set piece that was headed off frame, but no danger for Brandon Miller. Martinez playing it down to his brother, Enzo. Enzo, the older of the two. Johnson on the wing. And Johnson offside.
Yeah, Johnson just needs to hold his run. Some good build-up play there from Charlotte. Johnson just a little too eager to get forward and ahead of the ball offside.
For Charleston, they sit in that 10th spot, just 3 points behind Birmingham. Birmingham with 33 points, Charleston with 30. Charleston trying to play catch-up, but try to steal 3 points against a team that trails them. Charlotte in the 12th spot in the standings, trying to make a late run here. Both teams having troubles as of recent finding the win column.
Yeah, and Coach Jeffries is one of the most experienced coaches at this level of soccer in the US. You know, his ambition for sure is playoffs minimum. So he'll be doing everything with his team required to get them into that final playoff spot. Again, we spoke about this evening, it's about picking up points.
For Charlotte, Chris, they have not beat Charleston since 2016. You have to go to April of that year. Is there sometimes when another team, for whatever reason, just has your number? And if so, what do you do to change things up to try to give yourself a better chance to win?
I mean, the players consistently change. I think if you look at the roster or if you look at the last game, this is 7 changes to the last game. So the players should come in with the motivation and the determination, understand the culture, understand the history, understand what it means when these two teams play in a rivalry, And it's extra motivation. If you haven't won since 2016, one team's going to be super motivated. The other could be a little bit complacent because they've become so accustomed to winning.
Here's a chance, Sabella, and maybe getting a piece on that was Kuzminski. And yes, he did, as we'll have a corner.
And it's taken 25 minutes for us to mention Kuzminski's name for the first shot on target. Fantastic build-up here. A nice ball into the forward here from Mancella. Good chest from Martinez. He does well to get a strike off on his left foot with that, and the keeper does well to get down and push it just past the post. Beautiful first touch there to set himself up for the strike on his second touch.
The Argentine Valentin Sabella, the 20-year-old, 1 goal on the season. This being his first year with Charlotte. This is his 4th start of the season.
We've had some debates recently about who's having the best chicken burger right now.
It's one of those things that's going on, and if there's someone in the South that knows about, you're talking barbecue, you're talking chicken, it is definitely North Carolina B1s. That's headed up and back. But yeah, Popeye's chicken sandwich is really the hot topic.
Of course, Chick-fil-A is our corner kick sponsor right now.
Another corner kick here brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Referee's decided he's not a fan and he's giving a goal kick. See Martinez frustrated here, remonstrated with the referee and the linesman because he thinks it is a corner kick for sure, but referee is having none of it.
For Charlotte, our next home game is Saturday, September 7th against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and there's great seats still available. Purchase your tickets now at www.charlotteindependence.com. Tico plays it inside. Now will find its way back. Johnson on the outside. And he'll lay it back for Bocanegra. Johnson on the return pass.
We spoke about Coach Jeffries had labeled Kevan George as probably his most consistent player. Coach Enhauser actually labeled Mueller as his most consistent player. We can see him this evening wearing the eye protection after a collision he had in a previous game. And, you know, it speaks of the importance that he has, that the coach sees him, even with the eye protection, that he's necessary to play him in there because of the importance that he has as a defensive player for them in this team.
Played in the middle. So we're trying to get it outside. Now a chance here for Charleston. That one headed and just outside. Zika Lewis was the man trying to put it on frame.
That was a beautiful delivery into the box from Jared Van Schaik. Not from Van Schaik actually. Right into the head of Lewis. He just glides it just wide of the post. That delivery is actually from Marini.
Seen a couple different chances now on those whipped in balls from the wings for Charleston Battery, but both times going off target.
Yeah, they've had some success whenever the ball's been delivered into the box from crosses. You know, set pieces and deliveries into the box has been identified as a weakness for Charlotte Independence, and Charleston have actually had some success off of that so far in this game. A little bit more accuracy, and they may have found themselves testing the keeper on a couple of occasions, but they've come close on a couple of times, winning headers in the box. They've just been off target so far.
Taylor Mueller, the captain, in his 9th year with Charleston, or I should say with Charlotte. Yes, Charleston.
Wearing the Zorro-like protective
face
eyewear
mask
this evening.
30-year-old went to the University of Washington. Another player that Mike Anheuser has been really relying on. Usura sends it in. Trying to find Lewis there, unable to get it to him. Rittmeyer. Lewis turning inside. Trying to wiggle his way through. Close one there against Alex Martinez.
VAR.
And our referee says no.
VAR, I think that's a penalty. I think when we get the chance to see the replay of that, if the second one's a foul, the first one is most definitely a foul. The second one is outside the box, the first one's in the box. I actually think there might have been more in the first one than the second one. There you see he turns outside of his left foot. You can see he's dived in there, completely committed himself, and the forward's beating him. That's a penalty kick. Or a free kick on the very edge of the box, depending on what the lineman's seen, but they never gave anything.
By the way, a missed call there, and then you get a Nunga going down to the ground. We are going to have our second yellow card. This one handed out to Mansali. His third yellow card.
Not sure if it was for the foul or maybe for mouthing off after the foul. you can see he goes to clear the ball and just completely follow through and catches Anunga.
Yellow card issued against Charlotte Independence in the 30th.
It's a little bit.
It
looks like he caught him a little bit awkward position there, Anunga.
Nothing you ever want to be caught in that position, but that's one that our referee did not miss. Maybe missed a questionable, whether it was inside the box or outside of the box, like you just mentioned. But here, a chance for Charleston on a free kick outside. Charleston Battery on the road here.
Big man Sally connected with the ball there, just the wrong one.
Charlotte Independence, 4 losses in their last 6. Their last win in July, nearly 2 months ago.
Here's that look at the PK again. Some fantastic footwork from Lewis. There, it's outside of the foot. For me, that's a PK. Martinez dangles a leg, fully commits, is beaten. Referee doesn't give it.
Free kick now coming.
Jared Van Schaik, player who we feel like we've been seeing for such a long time at this league. You know, a veteran, most certainly one of the most experienced players on this Charleston roster. Probably their parents' leader right now on this team. Very good cultured left foot, can deliver a very nice set piece. This will be very testing for Charlotte.
The 30-year-old lines up, the delivery. This one headed away. Anunga sends it right back in, and that one cleared out. Then Schaik towards the end line, trying to cut it across, but unable to get it through. Martinez playing it down, trying to find Sabella, chested down by Jay Bolt. And that will go against Bocanegra.
Now we're starting to get a little bit of a derby feel. You know, the tempo's picked up. We're starting to see some tackles, a little bit more aggression. You know, now things are starting to get that kind of local rivalry intensity.
Well, it only took nearly 30 minutes, but you get the PK that was missed possibly, and then obviously you get the hit on the side to Anunga. And now things have definitely begun to pick up.
Yep, and unfortunately, sometimes it takes a bad tackle or it takes a bad decision for the players to get that little bit in between their teeth and find that little bit extra aggression that you need in a game. And I think, you know, the no call, not going to say bad, I'm going to say the no call decision for the penalty. I think, you know, the Charleston players feel a little bit hard done by that. Then you have the foul where he kicks him. You know, it's starting to pick up a little bit in terms of the intensity and the passion of the game.
And then Schaik will line up. And Schaik just waiting for the go-ahead.
Interesting his run up here. It's fairly square to the ball.
Towards the 18.
It's a nice delivery.
That one blocked. And then once again deflected out. That shot attempt by Dante Marini, the 27-year-old.
Charleston doing a good job of winning the second balls in the box. Charlotte have done a good job in the past 2 deliveries into the box of winning the first header, but Charleston have been first to it, picking up the second balls in the box and getting the second shots off. Just maintaining that pressure. This is probably the 3rd or 4th corner kick that Charlotte have had to defend so far in this game.
This corner kick brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Not the best delivery there from Lewis. He really needs to miss out the first man.
That one's going to go off Basura.
Charlotte just creating their own problems there. They've got possession playing out from the back, but they're just so slow that they're getting closed down very quick there. Basura doing a good job to close down McDonough and keep the ball in the attacking third.
Throw for Joel Johnson, the Spaniard.
Marini just a little too aggressive there. Pereira's another one that, you know,
haven't said much of him.
Haven't said much of him. He's very dangerous, but he's not seen much of the ball so far in his opening 35 minutes.
Sabella here in the area. Sabella, that one blocked up and finds the top. Good job by Kuzminski, at least popping that up and on top of the cage.
Yeah, that's a great save there from Kuzminski. Sabella with a great run in behind. That's the 2nd time he's hit that ball beautifully on his left foot. Good run in behind. You can just see times that perfectly. half volley with the left foot. I'm not sure Kuzminski knew where he parried that one to. He's glad to just see it go over his crossbar. It was coming at him so intensely.
This corner kick brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Martinez, delivery, back post. Charlotte unable to get anything going on that second corner try.
Yeah, he just needed to get it, just guide it back into the box. He was kind of off balance. He just needed to use the instep of his foot there just to guide it back into his box for one of his teammates to put into the back of the net. Didn't quite connect as he would have liked, and that's an opportunity wasted there for Charlotte.
All you have to do is head to the guest relations center near the front gate for your chance to win.
This will find its way all the way to Brandon Miller.
Basura and George here having a battle when it comes to these aerial contests. I think George has taken the responsibility for marking Basura such a presence in the air when the ball's delivered from goal kicks and from set pieces. And Kevan George obviously being one of the bigger guys on Charlotte's roster has been the man who's been allocated responsibility for dealing with it.
Charleston this week and next week's game against Memphis 901. Against teams lower than them in the standings, they need to find a way to come up with 3 points to give themselves a chance to advance. Give themselves a little bit more breathing room as it is a tight race here in the Eastern Conference. Birmingham just sitting right ahead of them with 33 points, and then 11th spot, St. Louis, they also have 30 points. Right now, Charleston with one more win than St. Louis on the season. Goal differential also a big factor when you're talking playoffs as Bocanegra plays this into the middle of the pitch. Brought back to Miller.
Sloppy pass there from George. Needs to keep that one on the floor. Goalkeepers, as much as they're becoming outfield players, how they play with their feet, they're not the best with their feet, so you have to kind of help them out when you're giving them passes, especially backwards to them under pressure.
Mueller. Down the line. And no one there for Charleston. Charleston on the year has scored 31 goals. Meanwhile, Charlotte, 30 goals on the season. For the Battery, they've allowed 35 goals. Independents have allowed 42.
And, you know, one thing Charlotte can draw confidence from, if you watch the last 5 minutes of the game that Charleston played, the defenders were very shaky in the closing stage of the game when they conceded in the 94th minute. They actually conceded another goal a little bit earlier that actually should have stood, if you ask me, as a goal. So that in the final closing stage of the past game, they conceded 2 goal-scoring opportunities. One was counted and one was disallowed. So there'll be opportunities for Charlotte as this game continues, but they're going to need to be clinical.
For Charleston, they've been able to get off on the front foot these last 4 games. But unfortunately for them, they've at some point or another allowed the other team to get back in. They need to find a way to manage to play a full 90 and keep the other team off the board. And get break when a team like Charlotte is going to put pressure on them, or a team like Nashville, in the case last week, getting the 2 late goals, or I should say 1 late goal.
Yeah.
But technically, it could have been 2. It should have been.
Could have been. And it came off the back of some pretty awful defending.
Bocanegra.
Because Jeffries did identify that delivering crosses into the box for Charlotte wasn't going to be the main way they're going to see be successful against Charleston, just because of the size of the centre-backs and how they attack the ball in the air. He thought that that's probably one of their strengths, and if they're going to attack, they need to find their forwards more by sliding the balls down the side of them more so than floating the ball into the box from crosses.
Bocanegra. He'll play it wide. Mansali trying to be bolt there, does. Mansali looking to cross it in. Good job coming back to help on the play, and then we'll have the whistle going against Sabella and Charlotte.
If you look at the size of Archer and Mueller at the back for Charlotte, 2 huge imposing figures. You know, very good at set pieces, very good at defending balls in the air. Does well to beat him down the line here. Mansali just tries to drive it back along the floor, but Charleston did a good job of getting back.
Mueller, the captain. Archer.
Sometimes that cutback ball ends up being a goal. If the midfielders don't track their runners when they're defending, that's how midfielders end up scoring goals. You make runs into the box, and if the person you're up against doesn't track you, you often find yourself free. But Charleston doing a good job of tracking their runners. able to stifle that opportunity for Charlotte.
That one off of Marini. McDonough. 6'2", 22-year-old. Played at the University of Georgetown.
It's a very cagey game. You kind of feel like whoever gets that first goal, it's going to change the complete momentum. Right now, both teams are a little bit cautious in how they're building up, how they're attacking, how they're possessing the ball. I think that first goal is going to be key to who's going to be successful tonight.
Tico.
One team's going to end up, it's almost like a final because we know that these teams both need to pick up 3 points. You know, it's not a case of they can afford to go down a goal.
Johnson in the area, sends it towards the near post, and that hits the side.
It's not a case that they can afford to go down a goal and then just sit back and allow the result to stay that way. It's going to be a case of if they go down a goal, they now have to be expansive and try and get themselves back in the game. So the game's going to open up based upon the first chance.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2020-2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the Championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus.
George just giving away possession in the middle of the park there has allowed Charleston to mount a counter-attack, but Johnson's done a good job of winning it back.
Plays it to Bocanegra, but he can't hold on. Anunga. Rittmeyer. Down the line, but that pass chopped out by Sabella.
It was the right idea, but not quite executed as it should have been.
Martinez.
Oh, Sabella was on this left side and a lot of space had Martinez got his head up and seen him.
And then the mistouch by Alex Martinez on the other side. Zico Lewis.
Lewis has looked dangerous for Charleston so far in this game. I've been impressed with how he's performed so far.
Rittmeyer with Bolt overlapping on the right. Shot, and that one blocked off the shoulder of Tico. Tico, 32-year-old out of Montreal, France.
Good block there from Tico, but that could have gone anywhere.
Another corner kick coming for Charleston Battery.
Almost to halftime now. I think both teams will be bunkering down, trying to ensure they don't concede and go in 1 goal down. But again, another corner kick here, a dangerous opportunity for Charleston.
4th corner of the night for Charleston. Zico Lewis lining up.
If he can miss the first man at the near post, Charleston have a good chance. His last delivery was a little bit short.
Inward swinging ball, back post, and that's going to go over everyone. Basua chases it down.
Basua does a good job to keep that one alive and keep it in play. It's a terrible delivery into the box there from Lewis. The first one he's under hit, the second one he's over hit. Not really been any consistency in his delivery so far.
Scoreless here as we approach halftime. I have highlights and stats for you, of course, at half, so stick around for that. News and notes around the USL and upcoming Eastern Conference matches. The playoffs on the line, some great games going on in the Eastern Conference as well as the West.
Sabella's looked like Charlotte's best chance of getting on the score sheet so far in this opening half. He's made some good runs in behind and he's had some lovely strikes with his left foot that's forced Kaminsky into 2 good saves. But besides that, there's not been anybody else who's really threatened for Charlotte in the attacking third.
Sabella tripped up by Rittmeyer, and Sabella wants to go. And now they will hold up. George plays it wide. Johnson. Surveying the area, will go inside to Alex Martinez. Here's Enzo Martinez. Enzo knocked off the ball just a little bit as that comes to the boot of Kelly.
Yeah, just taking he doesn't look very sharp tonight, Martinez.
Herrera. Bocanegra to his right, plays it wide, and that one too far for Joel Johnson.
The ball's coming into Martinez and he doesn't look like his sharp self. Normally he has a quick change of speed, a quick change of direction, and he's able to beat defenders easily. Right now it's coming into him. You can kind of see what he wants to do, but he's not really able to execute it as he normally does. And he's given away possession needlessly a number of times.
High pressure there by Charlotte, but they can't hold possession.
Silva does a good job for Charleston. It's just a big frame. The ball comes into him. He's able to secure it, keep possession for his team. Completely different from how Lewis plays on the other end. Lewis is more picks up the ball, drives at people, takes them on speed. You know, the two of them complement each other very well.
Gonzalez back to George. George will leave this one back. Tico. 2 minutes of stoppage time here added on in the first half. Herrera into the circle. George.
Nice pass there from Johnson to find Martinez. But Martinez again giving away the ball needlessly, just not taking care of the pass.
Tonight's stoppage time is brought to you by Jack's House as that one goes wide.
But again, there with the shot from distance. I don't think he was ever going to trouble the keeper, but you know, he's been the one positive spark you can say in the attacking third for Charlotte.
Sabella in his first year with Charlotte, 1 goal on the season for the 20-year-old. Both teams really having trouble getting anything on target. Our best chance really came in about the 20th minute for Charleston. But a ball that was blocked away by Brandon Miller.
And the key to any championship team is you need a forward in your team who's getting you 10 to 15 goals a season. Charlotte most certainly haven't had that this season. Hence their struggles, and they find themselves just outside of the playoff positions. You need that player who, when you're not playing so well, can just pop up and create something and score a goal out of nothing.
Martinez. Johnson. Drops it back. Martinez trying to find Sabella, and that pass behind Sabella. Now Ezekiel Lewis looking to set sail on a counter, and he's going to push it right into the feet of Gonzalez, and he plays it all the way back to Brandon Miller.
Again, you could see what Martinez was trying to do there, but it's just not been coming off for him. He has to have a 5-minute spell in the game where he just controls the ball and finds one of his teammates. We all know he has that ability in him to be creative and to make things happen, but
well, here may be a late chance for Herrera. Herrera with the right, and that one smothered by Kuzminski.
Yeah, I think Herrera's done fantastic well to create the opportunity. He's not quite struck it as well as he liked, and I think he's calling for the referee for a foul, but I don't think there's anything in that.
Well, there is the final whistle for the first 45. Chris, your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a different second half. I think both coaches will go in and both of them will give their team strong talking to. I think Charlotte needs to be a little bit quicker of how they possess and move the ball and try to be more dynamic in how they're creating goal-scoring opportunities. For Charleston, on the other hand, they've done well, especially with their set pieces into the box. They've been threatening, but neither of them have scored.
Well, Herrera, a late chance there, but that one stopped by Kuzminski, keeping the score sheet scoreless. Here's Charlotte 0, Charleston Battery 0. We'll head to half scoreless.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health, the hands making healthcare remarkable.
Tarjeta.
¿No encuentras tu tarjeta de débito? Desactívala con tu app.
Disculpa, estoy buscando mi tarjeta.
Esta es la tuya, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Y cuando la encuentres, vuélvela a activar.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Our halftime score presented by Famous Toastery. We are scoreless between Charlotte Independence and the Charleston Battery. We'll take a look back at the midweek highlights from Tuesday and Wednesday's games here in the USL. Famous Toastery score at half, 0-0. We'll take another break. When we return, news and notes and upcoming Eastern Conference matches for you.
Run. Torre will shoot. Oh. He will score. Torre. Let's just say that you walked in. Oh, something. Something's done. Oh my goodness. Lubin, what a save. Outstanding individual effort. They stand together. Powers delivery. Goes it out! The beauty! 150 the captain. Garcia flicks it in there, back of the net.
Trying to find Chang. Does the volley, and that one batted out.
Into the penalty area. Rito, near post finish. What a goal!
They have this long win streak going, but it's because they're taking care of opportunities as this strike goes up and in.
How about Ferris? How good is this?
Whistled all the way across, headed on frame, tipped over the bar and cleared out by Levine.
Here's Johnson. Saw the goal momentarily. Shot taken by Poco! Scored! He's got the brace.
Lifted save by Lorendi. Puts it back. Fires a shot, trickles on and in. Charlie Dennis back the other way down the right flank, takes it himself.
Slides it into the 18. That ball's touched into the back of the net. And no room to turn, but Bergen! What a strike!
But here's Joe Gallardo now coming forward. Gallardo still on the ball. Gallardo takes a shot, it's pushed away.
Ball is loose inside the 18. Moshabani comes over, shot, stop made by Aviles. Silva will have a hit. Oh, good save by Mejimadu. From the moment he left his boot, it looked destined for goal. Alma N4 hesitates, fires, and finds the back of the net.
Our Famous Toastery score here at half, 0-0 between Charlotte and Charleston, as now we will take a look at the news and notes from around the USL. And what an exciting time around the USL. What can you say about Phoenix rising? Another victory, 16 wins in a row, and they're still looking for more. USL reaches the huge deal with ESPN, 3-year rights agreement with ESPN all the way through 2022. And then the historic loan that Reno 1868 had. But lots of things happening, but Phoenix rising, really taking the top, 16 straight wins, longest in American soccer sports history in terms of outdoor soccer. As now we'll take a look at the upcoming Eastern Conference matches. Here you have Loudoun in North Carolina, that one on Saturday, as well as Tampa Bay and Nashville. Sunday on ESPN Plus, Bethlehem Steel and Swope Park, St. Louis, Hartford. And then Monday, yes, that's right, Monday, Charleston Battery at it again against Memphis 901. And now we'll take a look at our Eastern Conference standings brought to you by Wells Fargo. And really, Chris, when you look at the standings, what stands out to you the most?
Yeah, you see Charleston Battery occupying 10th spot. They're right on the edge of the playoffs. They need to do a little bit more work here to close that gap between themselves and Birmingham, and obviously give themselves a little space between themselves and the 11th place team.
For New York Red Bulls, I think they're outshadowed right now by Phoenix Rising, but still in the top spot with 53 points on the eastern side. Tampa Bay just right behind them. So still things can happen as we look at now the West standings. We talked about just a moment ago Phoenix Rising and what they have been doing, but you really look at 4th through even beyond 10th, it's a tight race in the Western Conference.
Yeah, Phoenix Rising have been quite spectacular. I think very good for them, but I think the concern is going to be for them. Can they keep hold of that coach and some of those players at the end of the season? After having such a fantastic record and so many fantastic performances, I think a few teams will be looking to snatch their head coach and some of their players.
Well, it's tight in both the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. Top 10 teams in each make the playoffs, but we are scoreless here at half. That presented by Famous Toastery. But when we return, we will have highlights and stats for you when we return from Matthews, North Carolina.
My card.
Misplace your debit card? Turn it off with your app.
Excuse me, my card.
This one's gotta be yours, right?
Yes.
And turn it on when you find it.
This is your health system, powered by Exos. Exos programs are shaped by science, driven by data, and dedicated to pioneering human performance at every level.
We train from youth ages through the professional ranks, in addition to the adult general population.
Though the goals of each individual may differ, the philosophy and approach are identical. Mindset, nutrition, movement, and recovery. These are the pillars of Exos programs and the foundation on which all athletic improvement is built.
They take you beyond the simplicity of the exercise and connect that to how it impacts your final performance.
Exos got me back in shape. I'm feeling great, sleeping well, eating right, body's back where it needs to be.
Rapids on 3, rapids on 3. 1,
2, 3, rapids! Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
First 45 minutes in the books between Charlotte and Charleston, and we are scoreless at half as we'll take a look back at the highlights from the first 45 minutes of action between these two clubs. And really just a couple chances for both teams. Not much going on in terms of scoring.
Yeah, Charleston had a few just wide of the target, but Lewis did have one very early on. Good driven ball back into the box, good first touch, and nice left-footed volley. Keeper was equal to it, pushes it away for a corner.
Brandon Miller with a great save there to push that one away, as here we'll have another chance.
Yeah, you know, we've highlighted at set pieces something that Charlotte haven't been great at defending in recent weeks, but they do a good job here. Just a little bit slow to get to the second ball in the box, but Good defensive clearance there to keep that one 0-0. There again, we see bad marking there from Kevan George, I believe, in the box. Just allows Basua to get away from him. A little bit more accuracy on that header, and I think Charleston would have found themselves 1-0 ahead. Sabella here, fantastic first touch here, just to set him up for his second strike. There we see that first touch, drives it across, goalkeeper does well to get down and push that one away for a corner. Here again we see Charleston on the break, those deliveries from wide. Ball into the box, delivery. Lewis just glides it wide of the box, and that was the second or third opportunity that Charleston have had from cross deliveries. I think Lewis wants that one back, should have been in the back of the net. And this one, of course, was a no call for the PK. Lewis doing a great job, quick feet, gets around the defender, beats Martinez, who dangles a leg. Referee didn't call it. I think Charleston can feel a little bit hard done by on that occasion. And Sabella again here, making those darting runs in behind. Good strike on go with his left foot. Kuzminski does a fantastic job just to push that one over the crossbar. Don't think he knew where it went, but safely out for a corner. And just the closing chance of the second half. Herrera, for the first time, we called his name. Just in behind, frustrated, thought that his shot was getting pulled. Just didn't get quite the connection that he wanted to test the keeper. Kuzminski equal to it. Fairly straightforward save.
Kuzminski with 2 saves in that first half, but looking at the stats, Charlotte controlling the possession 63% to 37%. But then you also look at the shots, Charleston with more, but just the 1 on target.
Yeah, and we spoke about the possession during the game. You know, Charleston possessing the ball, but their offensive players having to come so deep to get touches on the ball. It's not really allowing them to build up in the final third and be as dangerous as they should be with how much they're controlling the ball. There's possession, and then, you know, there's possession with purpose to create goal-scoring opportunities. And so far they've possessed, but they've not quite penetrated the final third and created very dangerous goal-scoring opportunities through their possession. They've created a couple by Sabella making runs in behind and some individual moments of brilliance, but still more to come from the Charlotte team.
And we'll have a substitution here at half. Mario Pickett will come on for Charleston, and off will be Nicholas Rittmeyer, the 25-year-old. And Aaron Mond also in for Charlotte, and Mansali off. And you hear Chris coming out of half. If you're these coaches, what are you telling your clubs?
I think Mansali may have struggled a little bit of injury. He went down in the first half because he had a fairly strong first half, if you ask me. But these players played last week, so especially Mond played last week against.
Just looking for Charleston, 5 games in 16 days. We'll see how that plays a factor. We've already seen 1 substitution for them here at half as Pickett came in. You're looking at health being a factor for both these squads, as Mansali has come off as well. So both teams have used 1 substitution, as this is played near side to Aaron Mond, the man who just stepped on.
Of course, and with so many games in such a short space of time, it makes the manager's job just a little bit more challenging, rotating those legs, rotating players, just to try and keep things fresh. It's a circumstance, obviously, no coach wants to have to deal with so many games in a short period of time, but they have to make it work if they're gonna make these playoffs.
Especially with points on the line. You talked about it at the start of the game, up to 30 points on the line. So teams can make a run here going towards the playoffs, as we'll have the foul called against Charleston. And then Anunga with the push, but he's gonna get that yellow card before that push.
Yeah, I think he could have got a second there. Anunga needs to be careful. First one could have been for the foul. He could have got another one there for pushing for the thing and got a second yellow card. So players just need to be a little bit smart.
So now 3 yellow cards have been handed out. Zeke Lewis got the first, Mansali the second, now Anunga.
Yes and no, he does get the ball, but he does come in also with his studs up. 3 years ago, no, it's not a foul. In today's football climate, yes, it is a foul. You know, players aren't allowed to come in with as much aggression as they could in previous years. You know, I think Bocanegra is just on the receiving end of that tackle, but Anunga didn't really do anything wrong. You know, it wasn't malicious. He did come in to try and win the ball. Just the rules have changed a little bit, and have to be a little bit more conservative in how you approach tackles these days.
Bocanegra back in the States, has played in Mexico and Nicaragua. In 2011, he won the gold medal with the Pan American Games with Mexico.
just the importance of winning this game for Charleston. We spoke about, you know, how they want to try to secure that playoff place as early as possible. They're going to lose Lewis, who's probably been one of their most attacking players in this game, to international duty for the next 10 days. So they will want to try and secure 3 points this evening, as they're going to lose one of their most offensive players.
And this one's going to go off the boot of Leland Archer. Corner kick coming. This corner kick is brought to you by Chick-fil-A, as Enzo Martinez will head over.
Just a mix-up in communication there. Completely no need for Archer to play that one out for a corner kick. Now has his team under pressure. Had somebody told him he had time to bring that ball down and play.
The third Chick-fil-A corner of the night for you. Martinez sends it in towards the near post. Lewis heads it forward. Anunga, I should say, sorry. Johnson plays it all the way back. Miller outside his area. Goes right back to Joel Johnson. Johnson trying to get by Lewis. Alex Martinez to Enzo Martinez. Johnson to his left. And that's the area he'll go to. Johnson cuts it back inside. That one cleared away.
Interesting to see Johnson lining up on the left side of the field in this second half. Obviously, he played on the right side of the field in the first half. It looks like he's just switched over flanks, and he's going to stay out there for the second half of this game. But naturally left-footed, naturally right-footed, it's going to be interesting to see how it performs out there on the left. More so, he's going to end up cutting back onto his stronger right foot, more so than delivering crosses with his left foot.
Talking about Aaron Mon now playing at the right back position as he replaced Mansali, who was playing on the left side there in that first half. Set piece now for Charlotte. Looking for the first goal of the night. Martinez in the area. Bolt clears it right back to Martinez. Tries it again.
It looked nice, but it wasn't really going to test the keeper from that distance. First delivery from Martinez needed to be better. He's just put it into the area where all the Charlotte defenders are. You know, he's got to miss that first step post area out and give his players an opportunity to attack it either in the center of the goal or at the far post. But those floated deliveries into the near post, it's going to be an easy defensive job for Charleston with the players that they have in that position with Archer and Miller. Very good in the air.
Van Schaik plays it out. Misplaced pass there by the veteran. It's one of those careless passes that you cannot have. Bocanegra. McDonough plays it over to the far side to Tico. Tico goes wide. Johnson.
And there you see the byproduct of Johnson switching sides. Now when he receives the ball, he wants to come inside every time because he's naturally right-footed. So in the first half, we saw him every time he picked up, he was more so going down the right side, delivering crosses, taking players on, driving. Now when he's picking the ball up, because he's not so much on his natural side, his natural instinct brings him inside. So the players around him need to recognize that and adjust when he receives the ball now, to realize that he's going to come inside. Either someone from inside needs to make a run outside, or they need to make themselves available inside for him to make an easy pass.
For Charlotte, they're looking for their 6th win of the year at home. Meanwhile, Charleston Battery looking for their 4th win on the road. Charleston Battery sitting in 10th in the standings, and 2 spots behind them is this Charlotte Independence Club. Quick throw. Van Schaik pops it over. That one's going to be caught by Brandon Miller. Great thought there by Basua. Unable to execute ultimately. This is the Southern Derby Cup. 3 teams in this: North Carolina, Charleston Battery, and Charlotte Independence. North Carolina leads right now. Charleston and Charlotte also just trailing a win for Charleston, and they move ahead of North Carolina. A win for Charlotte or a draw, and they would stay in, but a loss, they would fall out of the running. Charleston and North Carolina still play later on this season in September. So the cup will come down to really the 3rd week before the final week of the standings, about there.
Yeah, it just gives this game more importance. You know, when it's a local derby, but also there's a trophy at stake. And as a player, you know, you always want to win as much silverware as you can. They're the things that you look back on at the end of your career and reflect.
You get the battle that just ups the ante a little bit more. Both coaches talking about that this week on our conference calls. Brings a little bit more focus and attention to detail into the games. Again, you get bragging rights, like you said, another shiny trophy that you can add to the trophy case. Mueller inside. Anunga plays it back. Archer. Van Schaik.
Right idea there from Van Schaik and Marini. Good 1-2 play. Able to draw the free kick.
Switching sides is Van Schaik. Mueller. Kelly. Kelly can't possess. George. Here's Enzo Martinez in midfield, pushing forward. And Martinez brought down on the play by Romario Piggott, who just checked in at half.
And there's Enzo looking at a little bit more dangerous, receiving the ball in the half turn, driving forward, able to draw free kicks. Just a little bit more higher up the field. He's still picking up this ball in the halfway line. That's what you want to see him do in the final third. That's Enzo showing his capabilities and what he does when he's at his best.
Now set piece try here for Charlotte. Quiet night for both these clubs as Charlotte will look to send this into the area. And we'll just instead play it back to McDonough. Here's Enzo. Martinez cuts inside, showing off some nifty movement. Bocanegra trying to find Sabella, just couldn't squeeze that pass through. Angle cut off.
Yeah, just forcing that pass. It wasn't really off. I thought Martinez may have pulled the trigger himself and had a shot from distance there, but chose to lay the ball off.
And then the hard tackle. And this is going to go against Sabella on Marini. Fourth yellow card handed out on the evening. Marini wants none of that.
Just a little bit late there from Sabella. Marini does well, plays the ball up the line. A little earlier, Sabella just a little bit late with the follow through, but nothing malicious. You know, I think it was an honest effort to shut down the ball, but just arrived just a tad too late.
Marini able to walk it off. Dante Marini, the 27-year-old out of Pennsylvania. 6 year with Charleston. 4 goals on the season. I'm wondering who a goal could possibly come from Charleston. Well, maybe Dante Marini will be one of those players.
Nice pass there from Van Schaik.
Tico Lewis leads the team with 6 goals, but he's been stopped a couple times tonight. He's had looks though, and that's the important thing. Anunga with the throw. Herrera giving chase, but played for by Mueller. Lewis plays it out, but right to the boot of Mond.
Some good, nice one-touch play there through the middle from Charlotte.
Johnson striding forward. Played it inside, but no one there for Charlotte.
That's the issue that you run into with him being on that side of the field. He wants to drive and dribble with the ball, but he's not going to do that on his left foot. So naturally, he's running with the ball, but he's running on his right foot, so he's driving inside, and the pass doesn't quite come off. You know, he had a fairly decent first half in the right back position. It's going to be interesting to see if he can have the same impact on the game on the left side.
Charleston Battery just 1 win in their last 5 games, but they've had success against this Charlotte club. Charlotte has not defeated the Charleston Battery since 2016 in April.
Defensively on the left side, I think Johnson will be okay. You know, he doesn't really get beat on 1v1 situations. He's good at keeping his shape and discipline, but they may lose out on his offensive output, having him on his weaker side.
This is the second meeting between these two clubs. Charlotte lost 2-0 in the first one. Jay Bolt will have to back up, and now we'll send the throw in.
It'll be interesting to see, now we're approaching the last 30 minutes of the game. If Charlotte makes some changes and become a little bit more aggressive in their approach to really try and pick up 3 points this evening. Finishing outside the playoffs, I'm sure that's not even in the discussions they're having right now. I'm sure they're talking about making the playoffs. To make the playoffs, they have to be aggressive in winning games, and that's probably going to entail scoring the first goal in this game and then being able to defensively lock it down. So it's going to be interesting to see if any substitutes come into the game that's going to give them a little more offensive output.
Then Schaik pops it up. Piggott turns away. Piggott trying to lay back for Kelly, but dispossessed on the play by Sabella. Sabella knocked off the ball by Anunga, and that will draw the whistle.
Yeah, Piggott there with some fancy footwork, but coming on as a substitute, fancy footwork and giving away the ball, that's most certainly not what Coach Anhauser would have brought him into the game to do.
Coach Anhauser talking about how Piggott reminds him of Michael Chang's, who's now with Real Monarchs. Talks about his creativity and what he can bring to the wing with his passes. See if he can bring some of that here, the creativity and the passing ability in this second half. Marini into the area, cuts it back to the top. That one well over Lewis. Sends that into the night.
Brilliant play here for Marini. Just picks up the ball and drives it. He waits to commit a defender before he lays off that final pass. Lewis here just needs to get his head over the ball, drive that one along the floor, but he's completely leaning back. Sees it sky over the crossbar. Nice attacking play there from Charleston, but just no end product.
Great play there by the 27-year-old Marini. Looked like Lewis had a great chance. He at least had a look. But that one, in terms of the quality that he's brought on his shots earlier tonight, that one being the worst of the three.
Yeah, he just needed to hit the target there. It was difficult. I think the ball bobbled just a little bit, but a player of his quality, international for Bermuda, you just expect him to make the keeper work, at least make a save. Maybe one of his teammates is following up the ball for the easy tap-in. He's had a couple opportunities tonight, Lewis. They like back the header earlier in the first half. That opportunity there. He's had one that struck the target. He's been lively for them, but again, it's going to take one moment of execution for them to get themselves into the lead in this game.
Miller. Bolte's two goalkeepers have 3 shutouts on the season.
Yeah, and Charlotte may grow in confidence the longer this game stays 0-0. It's a team they're playing against they've not beaten since 2016. They're still very much in the game. The longer they stay in the game, the more chance they have of stealing a late goal.
That one dispossessed. Now Bolt plays it on the outside. Here's Lewis. Lewis with the dummy ball, but no one at midfield.
If they're able to get 3 points this evening, it doesn't just allow them to beat a team that they've not beaten in 2 years. They beat a team they've not beaten in 2 years. They give themselves a little bit more hope in their playoff chase. It could go wonders to breed in some confidence in this team going into the final stages.
Martinez towards the back post. Headed away by Bolt. Johnson on the wing. Sends it into the area. And no one there.
Yeah, that's a good delivery. There's just nobody on the end of that one.
Get all the latest Independence gear now at shopcharlotteindependence.com. Sabella trying to find Herrera.
Sabella finds himself on the opposite flank too in the second half. The first half he was making runs down the left side and he was on his left foot taking shots. Now he's on the right side playing those diagonal balls, trying to get Herrera in behind. Charlotte just trying to change things up and give Charleston different problems to deal with. So far, Charleston have adapted adequately and not really been troubled.
Sent towards midfield. Lewis. Marini. That one kicked away by Joel Johnson. Now throw coming for Charleston. Another throw coming for Charleston as that one goes off of Charlotte.
Just looking to see who's potentially going to pop up with that bright spark, that moment of brilliance. It's going to change the complete flow of this game. Goals, as we all know, change games.
Bolt. Anunga sends it in high, and that one headed away by Tico.
Rational decision there from Anunga. He just needs to take a touch and keep the ball moving. He's completely off balance and just tries to swing his leg and put the ball into the box without any real quality. When he had a teammate next to him, it was free. So players just need to be a little bit more composed in possession of the ball, just relax in the final third rather than trying to rush everything. Be a little bit more patient.
Our next home game is Saturday, September 7th against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and there's great seats still available. Purchase your tickets now at www.charlotteindependence.com.
Jared Van Schaik here losing his footwear.
Gonna lace him up. He'll be running with the boot off.
Spent some time in Puerto Rico with the Puerto Rico Islanders early in his career. Actually played his early career as a defensive midfield player. Now finds himself dropping into the back line as he matures a little bit. But player that's able to play a number of positions.
Mueller pushing forward. Got a little bit of room to work with. We'll go wide to Bolt. Once again deflected out of play. But here in the second half, in these last 5 or 10 minutes, Charleston Battery doing a good job getting the attacking third. But nothing to come of it as of yet. Joel Johnson. Tico.
Charleston adopting a high press here, trying to win the ball high up so they can create goal and scoring opportunities. The advantage of pressure in high means that when you win the ball, you're already in a dangerous area to create a goal scoring opportunity, or if you're high up enough, you already win the ball in an area where you can take a shot on goal. In opposed, sometimes teams drop off and they win the ball in the defensive third, and they still need to either build up or counter-attack the length of the pitch quickly in order to create a goal scoring opportunity. So Charleston being very aggressive in their approach to closing down the ball right now.
Marini will lay this one back. I should say Kelly will lay it back. Mueller, Bolt.
They just need to maintain that pressure, that intensity with their possession. The best way to do that is move the ball quickly with 1- and 2-touch passes. You know, the press is starting from the forwards very high, very aggressive, very quick. But then when they get possession of the ball, everything slows down and allows Charlotte to get themselves organized.
Nodded forward at midfield. Enzo Martinez. And he's dispossessed on the ball, tracking back, but that's going to find its way to Sabella. Sabella inside of Herrera. Herrera trying to go back to Sabella and taken away by Mueller.
Some good work there from Sabella. He's been their best attacking player so far in this game. Picks up the ball, tries to play a 1-2 with Herrera. Herrera doesn't quite give it back to him because of a tough first touch, but you could see Sabella's intent. He's been the one player who's been picking up the ball and trying to make things happen for Charlotte in the final third.
Tico in the circle.
Not a bad idea there from Tico, but just not executed right. He's beaten all lines. He's played the ball through the defense, through the midfield, just not quite able to find the feet of Herrera.
For Charlotte, they're looking to find a way to get that first goal and hopefully hold on to that with the way this one is looking. It's going to be a tight one to the finish. They have not won since July. They have one coming back on the 13th. Martinez. Herrera. He's trying to poke it around Archer, just unable to get it around the boot as Archer falls down. Might have been stepped on as well.
Yeah, Herrera, they're just trying to create some space for himself with Archer closing him down there, trying to create a yard of space so he could potentially get the shot off on goal, but good defending there from Charleston.
Yeah, Herrera just gets that back foot of Archer.
Archer keeping a very close eye on Herrera this evening. He's not giving him very much breathing space at all.
And then Taylor Mueller with the yellow card. For Mueller, you gotta think it was something he said to our referee.
Yeah, the referee just indicating no more.
Mueller's first yellow card of the season.
The big X, the universal side for no more. little bewildered. Obviously says something to the referee's distaste. He'll have to be careful now for the remainder of the evening. Last thing he wants to do is get another yellow card and leave his team down to 10 men.
The captain trying to back up his man, and in doing so gets the yellow card. Not sure what was said. Didn't look like anything too bad, but sometimes you say enough to a referee over the course of an evening, he's going to bring out the yellow card just to give you and the rest of the team, as well as the other team, a warning to not do any more.
There we see that matchup again between Kivan George and Basua from the aerial balls.
Bolt going down the wing. Bolt tripped up. Bolt thought he was tripped up by Joel Johnson. No foul given. Great look there at Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller, 29-year-old out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Played with UNC Wilmington, the Seahawks. Headed up by Mond.
Nice composed defending there from McDonough.
Martinez, he'll spray it wide. Sabella looking inside, that's the direction he goes. And that's gonna draw a foul against Charleston, and this will go against Leland Archer.
Nice link up there between Martinez and Sabella. Martinez gets to the ball just before the defender drawing a free kick.
Now Enzo Martinez and Bocanegra will line up. Martinez, two-time finalist for the USL MVP. 2015-17, he was with the Charlotte Independence Club. And then he went on to play in the MLS with Colorado Rapids. Now back with Charlotte. Sabella and Archer right there to take the ball away.
Basua there, the center forward, coming all the way back to win that set piece.
Charleston setting sail on a counter. They have numbers.
4 against 3.
Finds the boot of Lewis. Lewis trying to squeeze through. Knocked over just outside the box.
So a wasted opportunity there for Charleston. They're breaking 4 attackers against 3 defenders, and there's just no quality on the final pass to just create that moment of brilliance. I think he makes the wrong decision here with his pass also. Look, he's got 2 players, 3 while he's making a run to the left side, and he just chips the ball up onto Pigot's shoulder. No real quality on the pass. I think that's a wasted opportunity there for Charleston. I think they should have done much, much better.
Like that one to stay on the ground, or would you like to see Marini go outside and then play it in?
Should have definitely stayed on the ground. All 3 players are making runs to the left. So he either has to find one of his teammates on the floor on the left, or he takes it himself.
Sabella. Here's Bocanegra. Mond. Looking to switch sides, and that's going to be cut out.
It's a dreadful pass and a dreadful decision. Now Charleston again on the counter-attack.
Anunga. Out wide is Marini. That's where he goes. Marini plays it to Kelly. Little room to work with. In towards the top. Nodded down. Marini lines up with the left. Sails it over the crossbar.
Charlotte guilty of creating their own problems there. They had good possession, a needless, cross-field pass that's badly executed. Ends up giving the ball away to Charleston, and they end up counter-attacking and almost scoring. Marini just leaning back a little bit too much, sees that one fly over the crossbar, but Charlotte need to do a better job in possession and decision-making. It's not the pass. I'm not quite sure what he was seeing there, but Charleston creating opportunities for themselves now on the counter-attack.
Chance here for Charleston. Throw trying to find Lewis. Basua.
It's actually Charleston who are being a little bit more aggressive and pushing the tempo of the game right now. You can see by quick restarts, they're putting down the ball, trying to play quickly.
Turning.
They're really the ones who are looking to go after this opening goal right now.
Tune in to ESPN3 on September 11th at 10:30 Eastern for an electrifying edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. High-flying Phoenix Rising FC heads to Las Vegas to meet the lights in an action-packed Western Conference showdown. See it all September 11th at 10:30 Eastern during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3.
Piggott's coming to the game and looked like kind of a flair, creative player for Charleston. He's had a couple of months where he's picked up the ball, you know, tried to do his little tricks, but he's lacked the end product. On 2 occasions now he's picked it up, you know, done his little footwork and given away possession of the ball. You know, if you're going to be that player, you have to have those moments that count. You can do your footwork, but you have to keep possession of the ball for your team also. They don't want to give it to you, and every time you're turning it over to the other team.
And now once again, Charleston looking to run, played outside, then Schaik sends it in with the left, and easily scooped by Brandon Miller.
I think Van Schaik ran out of gas there. He's ran the whole length of the field from left back into the 18-yard box, and I think as the ball's got to him, he's just too tired to really produce anything quality with him. But you could see the intent of the run was good, the build-up play was good. Just need that little bit of quality at the end of it.
Bocanegra.
Which he does possess in that left foot, but it's obviously very difficult when you run out of gas after such a lung-busting run.
Also look at him running. He's got 4 more games that they're going to be playing in the span of 16 games. They're playing these 5 games. Yeah, a chance for them to go on a run, steal some points. They'll be playing teams that are lower than them in the standings, so another way to come up with points if you can beat those teams that you're expected to beat. And I think coming in tonight, most fans would think that they should take down Charlotte, but Charlotte giving them everything they can here for this first 75 minutes.
I think Charlotte are there, but you know, again, look, we see them possessing, but without any kind of real purpose to create a goal-scoring opportunity. They just maybe make 10 passes and almost give the ball away.
Sabella. Martinez. Trying to give himself a little room to work with and unable to get it by Archer.
And that's probably been the story of possession for Charlotte in this game so far. You know, they possess nicely at times, but when it comes to the final third, they've just not been as productive, besides a few moments of individual brilliance from Sabella, to make anything happen.
That one off the boot of Lewis. And now we'll have another substitution for Charlotte. Isaac Anking will come in. And off will go Ricardo Bocanegra. And then Dominic Orduro will also be coming in for the Independents. And off will go Alex Martinez. Martinez, a relatively quiet night, especially here in the second half.
And we spoke about Charlotte, you know, needing to pick up 3 points and win this game. And this could be Coach Jeffries making those substitutions to really try and give them some energy and push in these final minutes to see if they can steal the winner.
Maduro, MLS vet, over 60 goals in MLS play, played for numerous different teams. Mon collects, Martinez, back heel, Oduro sends it, and no one coming behind on that dummy pass.
A good ball into the box there from Oduro. He's already showed his intent and what he's capable of after being on the field for just 30 seconds. He's created a ball into the box that we haven't seen over the course of 60 minutes so far. So expecting a very lively closing 15 minutes to this game.
Basua pushing forward. Drops it back. Kelly to his right, trying to find the far post. And Miller able to get his left hand on that one.
Brilliant save there from Miller.
Kelly, a great look here.
Kelly just allowed too much time and space in the box. Fantastic footwork there from Basua, the big guy, not something that you'd expect from such a big frame. Does well to keep the ball in possession. Good drive into the box there from Kelly. No one closes this down. Driving, shot into the bottom corner, and Miller does well to push that one away, but Charlotte need to do a better job of closing Kelly down there and not allowing him that time and space to get a shot off inside of the 18-yard box.
Corner kick for Zika Lewis as he'll set up for an Edwards swinging ball. Whipped in. And then just on the back line is Herrera. Lewis comes up. Looked like Basura might have been held right there.
That's the best delivery Lewis has put into the box this evening from a corner kick. I think Basua, it looked like he was actually using his hands to get a lot of leverage. He was up in the air for a long time before he got the header, but some good defending there from Charlotte allowed them to keep that one out. Score remains 0-0.
And now Lewis will come out after that corner kick, and Kotaro Higashi will come in. Higashi, 29 years old. You look at, he came back, or I should say he came over 3 years ago, paid his own way from Japan for a tryout, ultimately made the team, and he has stayed with Charleston since there. He'll look to provide a little bit more energy here in the 79th minute.
Yeah, very technical player. Got himself on the score sheet last week. Definitely gives some attacking threat in these closing stages of the game. Lewis worked very hard in the coach, maybe so many games coming up, international break, so he's giving a rest, some fresh legs. Both teams now, it looks like, seems maybe going after that winning goal in the closing stages.
Higashi leads the team in assists. He has 4 on the season. Bolt working his way forward. Marini plays it wide. Then Schaik. Kelly on the edge. Kelly with the right. Anunga.
Can just feel Charleston just turning up the intensity and the pressure. The ball's been in the attacking third for them a lot over the past 10 minutes, and you know, you can just feel it's only a matter of time before they potentially break this deadlock. Charlotte relying on the likes of Aduro and the substitutions coming in now to see if they can try and turn the momentum a little bit, but the favor right now is most certainly in Charleston.
For Charlotte, they have used all 3 of their substitutions. Meanwhile, Charleston, they have 1 more remaining. Here, great push forward. Great little slip pass, but offside flag is up. And there, Higashi trying to find Basua.
Yeah, it's offside, but Charlotte dropping off and just allowing Higashi just to drive at them with the ball. Not the best defending, a very cute pass there. Basua times his run just a little bit better. I think he finds himself on the score sheets there, and that's 1-0, but just a little bit eager, got himself offside behind the defensive line. And
you're talking about when Higashi came on, his ability to create, nearly had the first goal or the assist to a first goal, but Basua offside. Again, just pushing forward is Charleston.
We spoke about Charleston, just that pressure they've had in the final third. Building, building, building. That's the first time they've managed to penetrate the net.
And now Charlotte looking to respond now. Throw for Mond. King back to Mond. And that one chopped out.
Too easy. Van Schaik literally just steps in front of him under no pressure and just dispossesses him.
Marini. King chasing the shadow. Marini towards the end line, and that one goes off King, and we'll have a throw for Charleston.
Good play from Marini there. He just drives forward to the box. He gets his head up, looks into the box, see there's no one in there to deliver it to as yet, and just wins a corner or throw-in for his team deep down in the attacking third.
Marini's really come alive here in the second half for Charleston. Here's Van Schaik. And this is going to go against Charlotte.
Very dangerous area here for this set piece.
This collision between George and Basua.
I think the foot was a bit high. I don't think there was the contact that you might have imagined that you saw. I think George actually kicked the ball into Basua's chest and then it went away from him a little bit. I think he actually could have played on and got the second ball, but he went down and I think the referee gave the free kick. The ball just bouncing around here. Basua does well on the first one. George toe pokes it onto Basua's chest. If anything, the referee gives it to the follow through, but on first contact, I don't think there's anything that malicious there.
And now a great chance here just outside the box, about 20 yards out. You gotta imagine someone's gonna be trying to tuck this into one of the corners.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Van Schaik on this one in his left foot.
Van Schaik and Anunga right there over the ball, discussing who will take the shot. Great chance here in the 83rd minute for Charleston. Van Schaik, and that one right into the wall. You'd like a better try there from the veteran.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go over the wall. Just unable to get it up over the wall, let alone get it down.
Van Schaik. Higashi. Higashi creates a little wiggle room, just pushing forward. He nearly got through there to the 6.
Yeah, once Higashi's inside the box, the defenders have to be very, very careful. Such close ball control, driving with it at speed. Any little touch, liable to give away a penalty kick. So, you know, the second he gets that ball at his feet, Charlotte need to be very, very careful in how they defend him.
Mueller giving chase. Kuzminski. Van Schaik lines it up, and he'll just settle down.
Kuzminski, a little bit fortunate there. It looked like his first touch got away from him a little bit. Just swung probably at it with his second touch and managed to find Van Schaik's foot.
Bolt into the middle. Johnson. He'll simply play this back. Tico. George.
Nice possession from Charlotte, but you have to ask, possession going where?
It's just going backwards. They need to push forward.
It's possession, 3 nice passes and then turnover possession, and now they're under the counter-attack again.
Anunga sizing it up. That one takes deflection off George, and then having a lot more time than I think he realized was Higashi there.
A player of Higashi's quality, I'm expecting him to bring that down with his first touch and bear it with his second. It's a deflected ball, so he's not going to be offside. Misses out everybody. Anunga there, deflected off George. Just bring it down, second touch, finish it. Keeper was static on his line. He had more time than he thought there. I think that was the opportunity for Higashi to put his team into the lead.
And you look at what Higashi has done since coming onto the pitch as a substitution. He's been electric.
Yeah, he's definitely injected some energy and some life into the attacking third, and that's what you ask from your substitutions. Sometimes they come on and they don't quite give you that energy that you expect, but he's definitely had an impact coming off the bench.
Basura brings it down with his chest. Kelly brings it back. That shot, and blocked by Miller. Rebound, and he's able to cover it up. Great stop there by Brandon Miller. And then he prevents Van Schaik from getting the loose ball.
It's a nice ball over the top from Basura. Cuts it back. He has more time than he thinks there, Marini. Just doesn't quite connect with it with the accuracy that he would have liked to. That was a fantastic opportunity to put his team into the lead.
Higashi. Kelly. Mueller. Fighting through is Anunga, but right there, Odura.
Starting at 5 p.m.
Higashi. Turn away from Odura. Marini. Played wide. Bolt giving a good run, but that pass cut out. Sabella tracking way back.
Good defensive work from Sabella. I think at this stage of the game, Charlotte will do well to hold on and leave with 1 point. I think with 4 minutes remaining, they have to realize that they're up against it. Reluctant to still be 0-0. I think a point may not be the worst result for Charlotte based upon how they performed this evening.
For Charleston, they are 4 points ahead of St. Louis, who sits in the 11th spot. Charlotte in that 10th spot.
I think
1 point will even give them that little bit more breathing room.
Sometimes when you're a player on the field, you have to realize when it may not quite be your evening and things aren't really going well for you, and you're being let off the hook a little bit, and 1 point is almost certainly better than 0 points. And I think based upon how the tempo and the momentum have gone of the game in the past 10 minutes, just 3 minutes remaining, Charlotte may be better off, you know, just sitting back, killing time, taking the 1 point rather than expanding and leaving themselves open to concede and potentially leave with no points this evening at home.
Now for Charleston, here in these last couple games, they've given away late goals right around this time and into stoppage. They're going to want to hold on for the entire 90 minutes. But here in the second half, even late, Charlotte not doing much in terms of attacking in their attacking third.
Yeah, that's a good point you mentioned last week. Charleston in the closing 5 minutes of the game were very poor and were very susceptible to conceding. So if there ever was a time for Charlotte to go and create goal-scoring opportunities, it's most certainly the last 5 minutes of the game. But based upon how the momentum has gone for them so far, you know, a point's not going to be the worst result for them.
McDonough plays it back to Miller. Miller's been solid in net for Charlotte this evening. Has had numerous big saves to keep this game scoreless. Kuzminski on the other end has not been challenged much. Kelly plays it wide. Marini lining it up near post.
Good position in there from McDonough. Nice and early position, facing up play, able to deal with that delivery without too much difficulty.
Higashi.
Charlotte just needs to make sure they stay organized and disciplined. Don't dive in, don't give any dangerous free kicks away in this area.
Higashi dispossessed. Herrera towards the circle as he is chopped down from behind.
Smart foul there from Bolt. He knew that Herrera was on his way. He was going to counterattack. He was going to get away from him just to slow down the momentum, take away any speed of play, allow his team to get now 11 players back behind the ball. Completely nullified Charlotte's attack. Very frustrating for Charlotte, but if you're a Charleston player and you're Bolt and you're the coach, sometimes a foul's necessary.
He'll take that 7th yellow card there in that position. Jay Bolt, the man guilty of the yellow card, his 2nd of the season.
That's an experience foul.
Looking at Jay Bolt, 24-year-old. Played a lot of soccer. Coming from the University of North Florida. 2nd year with Charleston. Has also played U23s. He's played with Jacksonville Armada.
Martinez again guilty of giving away possession there, just trying to over-dribble.
Basua with a chance here, slows up. Marini to his right.
Charlotte lucky there. Charlotte very lucky that ball comes to Marini on his unfavored right foot. You could see he was hesitant. He wanted to get the ball back onto his left foot that he's more comfortable with to get the strike off, but it's lucky his right foot doesn't quite have that technique of his left foot. Charleston building. Very unfortunately not to take the lead. Charlotte another let off.
Tonight's stoppage time is brought to you by Jack's House. We'll have 4 minutes of stoppage time. Right now, this one looking to go to a 0-0 tie, but still plenty of time. Charleston's been the more aggressive one here in these last 20 minutes as they are searching out 3 points.
And I think both teams, if the scoreline remains like this, will take positive from the ability to keep a clean sheet. I don't think that Charlotte have kept a clean sheet out off the back of outstanding defending. I think there's been some wasteful goal-scoring opportunities from Charleston, but still take the positives. You still build upon that and keep going forward. You know, they're very good in possession. If they can now turn that into creating goal-scoring opportunities, they can change their fortunes for the remaining third of this season.
Played wide. Bolt working his way towards the end line, whips it in. Corner kick now coming for Charleston.
Good defending there. Tico getting his head onto that one. Last 3 minutes here. Charlotte need to be very resolute in how they defend this corner.
Big set piece coming here on the corner where Charlotte has had issues over the past couple of weeks.
And Marini now taking this. Earlier in the game, it was Lewis delivering these corners.
Marini lines up. That one cleared away by Kevon George.
Yeah, George has been magnificent in defending set pieces this evening.
An offside flag up. That one going against Anunga.
Collision in the middle of the park there. Looks like Pigot's down, holding his head a little bit.
Charleston Battery, if the score is to hold for the next minute or so, it would be their 10th draw of the season. For Charlotte, it would be their 11th.
Just 90 seconds remaining in this game. It didn't turn out to be the fiery, passionate, intense derby that we anticipated, but it was more of a cautious affair from both teams and some lackluster finishing.
Marini. Higashi. Backing up is Mon. Higashi with the left. That one goes through and then cleared away. Wasua let that one go by him.
Higashi has been a huge problem for Charlotte defense to deal with.
Madura looking to go on the counter, and good job stepping up there by Archer.
Yeah, the game's completely opened up now at both ends.
Higashi attacking the area. Higashi once again trying to send it across. Wasua in the vicinity.
Higashi goes past players so easily, and once he's in the box, you can't touch him.
Down the line, but slowing up his run was Sabella. I think Sabella's just run out of gas.
That sums up Charlotte's attack this evening. It's just not come together. It's not been there. The quality's not been there. The execution has not been there. I think they're very lucky to leave this game with a point. Just 10 seconds remaining. I think to count themselves lucky, take the positives and continue to build and see what they can salvage going forward.
Anunga. Higashi. And then he gets the ball taken away from him. And there is the final whistle in this one. Chris, your thoughts on this scoreless match?
I think Charlotte very lucky to get away with a point there. I think some lackluster finishing from Charleston means that they don't live with 3 points. But there's still plenty to play for both these teams the remaining games of the season. Charleston can solidify their place in the playoffs if they're a little bit more clinical in front of goal. And Charlotte, on the other hand, if they manage to find a way to start getting 3 points, they can still sneak into the playoff positions.
Charlotte now with one more point, 26 points. Charleston Battery now with 31 points. They're just 2 points behind Birmingham, who sits in ninth. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with... We'll go to the save of the game first before we go to break. This save brought to you by Wells Fargo. And there you see it in the 86th minute. Brandon Miller doing a good job getting the initial save and then covering up the rebound. Then Schaik right there knocking. But that Wells Fargo save of the game brought to you by wellsfargo.com with Card Design Studio. Here's tonight's save of the game. And this game brought to you by Famous Toastery. And ultimately scoreless between these two clubs. We'll take another break, and we'll come back with highlights and stats for you when we return.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands making healthcare remarkable.
Our final score brought to you by Famous Toastery. This one ends at 0 apiece between Charlotte Independence and the Charleston Battery. Much different looking second half than it was from the first, as we'll take a look back at the highlights from this match between Charlotte and Charleston.
Yeah, the game started off. Charleston creating some good opportunities from out wide. Lewis, good first touch here, drives with his left foot, middle of a brilliant save there. Reaction time save, pushes it away from the post. keeps his team 0-0 in the game.
Lewis was strong for Charleston in the first half.
It's a good delivery here. Enzo with a touch, Sabella with a beautiful first touch. Just unlucky to see that one go wide of the post. Kuzminski getting a hand onto it. Still 0-0.
Sabella, another good game here for Charlotte this evening. He really picked it up in the second half before running out of gas.
This is some good footwork here from Lewis. Picks up the ball, takes on Martinez. Martinez dangles a leg. I think he's lucky not to get the penalty call on that one. Charlotte with the let-off. Sabella making another good run in behind. Takes a good first touch. Drives it a goal with his left foot. Kaminsky's lucky. Pushed that one over the crossbar. Don't think he knew too much about it, but managed to keep his team still in the game 0-0. It was one of the few times that we called Herrera's name during the game. Makes a run in behind, complains to the referee about shirt pulling, but he just doesn't connect with the ball quite as he would have liked. Easy into the keeper's hands.
Yeah, really, that was Herrera's best chance of the evening. That one coming right before half.
Some good footwork here from Basua. Drives forward, cheeky little back heel. Kelly here drives into the box. Charlotte do a bad job of closing him down. He's free to take the shot. Miller again comes up big. Stretched out left hand, pushes that one wide of the post.
Great positioning there by Miller, able to get that left hand on it.
Again, Basua problems all evening. Marina gets the ball in his left foot, just tries to bend it past Miller. Doesn't quite connect with it as accurate as he would have liked. And Miller again, big save and following up for the rebound. Keeps his team in the game.
That one was our Wells Fargo save of the match as we take a look at the match stats in this one. And Chris, anything that really stands out to you in tonight's match?
Definitely. Charleston were able to have almost 20 shots on goal despite being outpossessed by a huge difference. You know, I think it's something Charlotte will want to address. Their possession, yes, they possess, but can they create more goal-scoring chances? Charleston, on the other hand, with the chances that they create, can they penetrate the back of the net?
Well, neither team able to find the back of the net tonight as this one ends scoreless for Charlotte. Now 11 draws on the season. Up next, they will have Tampa Bay. That one Saturday, September 7th at 7 Eastern for Charleston. Well, this kicks off 5 games in the span of 16 games. They next play Monday the 2nd. That one against Memphis, 9:01 at 6 p.m. But the final score here, Charlotte 0, Charleston 0 for our crew. Chris Nurse, I'm Josh Toll. Good night from Matthews, North Carolina.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.